Harry, 0-0 draw tonight, hard-fought match by your guys. Tell me your thoughts on the way you guys played and your thoughts on the result.
I thought the game was a real fight. It was a war from start to finish. We knew that when you come to Pittsburgh, you have to match their intensity, and you have to match how they compete for first contact, second contact, and sometimes third contact. Very, very similar to the lower leagues in England, how they play, and they try and dominate those sort of moments where the ball's not in possession of either team, and they're really good at it. So we knew we had to roll our sleeves up tonight and potentially try and beat them at their own game, while when we got the ball, mixing it up a little bit more to play the conditions. The pitch was quite zippy, so we knew that if we tried to pass through their press, we would have a little bit of joy. But then there was other times where it was difficult to do so, so we had to try and skip the first line and the second line and play the 3v3 against their back line. I think getting a point at Pittsburgh is a good point. I have to take my hat off to my players and their mentality. And I've said this in a number of interviews recently, but it would have been very, very, very easy to put your feet up and think about being on the beach when you're not in a playoff run. And Pittsburgh had a lot to play for tonight, and we matched them in every department. I felt like they had one really good chance, and I thought we had two or three really good chances, and we looked like we looked more and more exciting in the attacking third when we got it into good areas.
Your back line kind of got back to its old ways tonight. 6 block shots out of the 17 that they got. As you mentioned, they only had 1 shot on goal tonight. What do you have to say about those guys in the back there?
Magnificent. Led by the main man himself, Jeff Caldwell at the back. Nico Cardona has not put a foot wrong since he's come in. He's been brilliant, proper leader, proper character. Justin Hack had to do us a job tonight. He had to go in there, and he looked, again, I felt he looked like a Rolls Royce at the back at times. And, he needs to consider that in his career, looking at that position seriously, because he looked that good. Eunice, I thought, was really solid, committed to the press well, dealt with diagonal passes much better. And Arthur Rogers, again, you look at how dangerous Alex Dixon's been this season, and Arthur made him look very, very honest tonight. And then when Arthur come off, Ash came on and did the business as well. But I have to give a shout out to our midfielders as well. Luca Purper landed on everything. Conor McGlynn, Danny Barrera run his socks off. Then your front line that goes and hunts and presses and harasses them. So I think we were really honest performance, and we played for the badge tonight, the name on the front as well as the name on the back, and we played for the fans. And it was good to come here and disrupt them, because they were trying to get above Charlotte if they didn't better their results. So they were very disappointed at the end, and that's good, because we want teams to feel like that once they play against Hartford.
You mentioned Jeff at the beginning of that answer there, and you've said plenty about Jeff this season, but that's his 9th clean sheet of the year. That's the most in club history by a long shot. Just any words you want to say about Jeff now that the season is wrapped up here?
There's loads I'd love to say about Jeff. Listen, fantastic character, comes from a real solid sort of the earth family. So his parents should be extremely proud of him. He's brilliant in the locker room, great person, great human being first and foremost. And, really honest, hard-working professional. And whatever Jeff goes on to do, he fully deserves it, really fully deserves it. And I think it's really important to point out and put it into context that, we've kept that amount of clean sheets this season in a very, very tough division. A very tough division, having to play, for the first time in the club's history, having to play at Tampa Bay on 4 different occasions is a tough run. And the fact that we've managed to, to shut out that amount of teams and that amount of time, we need to be proud of that. But the club have got to build on that now and build on that foundation of these good, solid young players that have come through in a good, solid young team, but really, honest and hardworking people. And Jeff has, for me, he is the exact image of what we would want playing for our club, whether it's a goalkeeper or an outfield player. You speak about Jeff. You can say the same thing for every single one of our boys, Conor McGlynn, Danny Barrera, to name a few, players that are extremely honest, hard-working. And it's been an absolute pleasure and a privilege to manage them this season and be their coach.
I'm just going to give you a little bit of a hard time. I'm sure you love being the head coach of the first ever 0-0 draw in club history. I know you said coming in that there weren't going to be any of those, but congratulations on being the first. Now that this 2021 season is wrapped up, what were your thoughts on the season as a whole?
I think sort of looking back at it now, I won't be able to give you an amazing answer because I definitely want to. I'm flying back to England next week and I need to go and decompress and reflect on my first season in management. I have to say, what comes to my mind straight away and congratulate my players. Congratulate my players on what's been a roller coaster, and it's been up and then it's been down and then it's been up again, and their characters. And this season will not be one that they necessarily remember for trophies, but it will be one that they remember for beating New York Red Bulls 2 at home 7-0, which was a massive highlight. I remember when me and you read the team sheet and we looked at the amount of MLS players they dropped down, and I said to you, we'll win this 4 or 5 tonight. And we betted it to 7. That was great. Going away to Miami, winning 1-0 against, a stacked side. Going away to Tampa and winning 1-0. Flawless performance for 75 minutes. And then the last 15 was just like the Alamo. But we protected our goal with our lives. And the harder times as well, because that's when you're tested. We lost 5 on the bounce this season at one point. 5 losses in a row is a hell of a run. But again, I'll talk about the players, and they're a fantastic reflection of their characters and how they pulled us out of that. Loads of reflecting for me to do. I think the owner should be incredibly proud of what he's produced in such a short space of time, and everyone involved. And I want to also take the opportunity to thank every single member of staff at the club. You guys in the front office have been magnificent, welcoming every player, supporting us on social media, giving exposure to our highs, and helping the fans get to know the players. And then, of course, I have to finish by saying thank you to the supporters. Thank you to the supporters for turning out every single week and being loud and cheering and spurring us on. Thank you for getting behind us when we haven't been so good, and thank you for being there to congratulate us when we have been good. So it's been a wonderful experience for a first season. I could write a book about it. I'm sure I'll be able to, delve into more once I've had a chance to really think about it. But incredibly, incredibly proud of it.